What's going on, Coach? Hey, we're doing something brand new, never been done before. We are actually having a watch party with the Bucs and Cowboys. I'm going to sit in. I got some people lined up that may jump on this. We will watch the game together using the Gamecast. So what we have is we have the Gamecast right here, where we can sit here and we can actually pay attention to the game and talk about what is going on in this thing. So I have some guests that should be coming up. I am going to go ahead and send them an invite. We're just going to sit here and we're going to talk about what we see, what we don't see. Do we agree with that? And we're going to be armchair quarterbacks for the NFL together, because that's just what we do here. It's a way to watch the game together, see what we like, and all of that. So if you have any questions, put them in chat. Let me know where you're watching the watch party for. And let's get into this. First off, who do you have? Who do you have going right now? Are you for the Bucs? Are you for the Cowboys? I'm sure y'all are all about the Cowboys because, it seems like everybody is a Cowboys fan. I don't understand that. A Cowboys fan that when the Cowboys haven't won that much, but it is what it is. So we had a 2 punts right here. And if this gets taken off, I don't know. That's just what we do. Let me get that. I'm sending Nick an invite. Kadooty. See, look at that. Look at that. That's the beautiful thing about this. Bring that up and Gamecast. Boom. There we go. That's the beautiful thing with this. I'm going to bring this down. And I'm going to get the invite. Going to bring up Nick. Boom, boom. All right. Now, this is a little bit difficult because, football coaches have JV. I hope everybody's game's going all right as well. I hope y'all are doing okay. Let me bring up the Gamecast again. There we go. Now, my question to y'all is screens. When do y'all bring up a screen? Do you throw the screen normally, like first and second down, like Prescott Dad just did, or are you looking for it on third down? That's something that's pretty big when it comes to this stuff. I don't know when to throw screens. I'm not that good. Also, when you're watching this, how do y'all call your plays? That's what I'm always looking at when I'm watching these games. How do you call your plays? Is there a rhyme or reason? Do you have a script? Are they looking to see, hey, I'm going to call this play first and then another play? Or they do something totally different? Like right there, 3rd and 3. Are you going, they just ran the ball. Do you have something like, hey, the first 3rd and 3, I'm going to call this? Or are you calling something based on your gut feeling? Like, hey, I think we can call this play right here. This is what's going to work. Because on 3rd and 3, you have to think that a lot of people are going to be thinking you're going to run the ball. So why would you run the ball, especially in the NFL? It seems like the NFL is moving more toward a pass first kind of thing. But that's just me. And then when on the punts, if you're backed up like they are right now, they are on the looks like the 13. Do you bring it? As a special teams coach, do you bring the funk and see what's going on? Because I would like to think that you would right here. Tapping his helmet. All right. See, I like it. I would have brought the funk. I would have tried to kick it. Block the kick. But then again, you have a special teams return like this to the 30, and that's not bad right there. Those are the worst, though. When you get a good return like this, Backed up, bring it. See, Nick, I'm the same way, man. I say you bring the funk when you're backed up. Make that kick. To me, punters, and I know this is different in the NFL, but at the high school level, punters are just as rattled or even more rattled as quarterbacks or the long snapper. How many times does the long snapper actually practice that in a football game out at practice? Most of the teams that I've been around, when we do punt, we're actually snapping it at like the 50-yard line where there's no pressure. We never move it back and put it on the 3 or the 2 and try to snap it like that. So if you're at that point, shouldn't you try to just snap it and just be like, hey, YOLO, we're coming after this. Let's see if either the long snapper or the punter has some nerves. Let's get them. Let's get that. You know, you got TB12. Let's do TB, tight butthole. Let's see what they do instead. But a lot of coaches don't do that, which I wonder why. Like how often do you think coaches bring it? Is there a certain? I'm going to be honest. In my 12 years of coaching, we probably, off the top of my head, brought maybe 6 times. So that's 12 years. That's at least 10 games. It's 120 plays. 120 games. Let's say we get an average of 60 freaking plays in a game. So what's that? 120 and 60. 120 times 60. That's 7,200. And we're maybe blocking 5 or 6 times. I don't know. Justin, I think at lower levels of football, you can bring the funk. In the NFL, the game is a bit more about field position. That's true. But what if you bring the funk and you block it? That's what I'm saying. Like, I know it's field position, but what if, how often can someone pull that up? Like, how often do people actually try in the NFL to go for blocks? That's another one. I'm sure there's a stat by Nate Silver or somebody like that will go through it and do something. You know what? Let's go ahead. I'm going to bring up my computer. How many attempts at block punts in NFL? Let's go 2020. Of course, Google's popping that up. Of course. Look at this. Let's see. NFL team punts blocked per game. So, none. Let's see. Let's bring this up. Football Lab. Let's look what it says. Punts. What is this? I'm guessing touchbacks in the 20, blocks. So in 2020, there was 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Only 13 block kicks in 2020. That's it. Let's say we triple the attempts. I'm hoping that, block punts have a 33% a success rate. That's not that many. They should do that. Now, my question also is how long do you think Tom Brady can go throwing dots? Like, can he go till he's 50? He's throwing this ball in there to Gronk. Both of Gronk's catches, two catches for 24 yards, have been straight dots, fitting it in there. Can he do that again? Has he missed yet? Has he missed? They are just slicing them up. And as a coach, it has to feel good to have a quarterback that can actually do that you really don't have to worry about. And as a coordinator as well, can your quarterback do that? Brady's 8 for 12 for 118 yards and 1 touchdown. If you're playing fantasy draft, that you need to get that. Dak's just as good, 12 for 15 for 131 yards. unbelievable. I swear. Ezekiel Elliott looks like that guy off of Hamilton, which was a great movie, by the way. No Hamilton slang right here. But how would you, okay, question to you. Would you rather play for Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? Personally, I think I would like to play for Tom Brady. Because I just think, I don't know, man. I just like Brady a lot more than Peyton. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I could play for both of them, I would. But I would totally want Tom Brady. Just the way, like, he immediately made the Bucs better. Also, I like the Bucs center. I just think he has that oomph. Like, he's nasty. He's nasty. He was that way last year. He's that way this year. He always gets people caught second. I wish I could show. Did y'all, or if you're watching the game right now, which you should, we should all be watching at the same time. That ref's face, that ref's face was going to be a GIF. Dot. It's unfair. I need to get me some avocado ice cream like Tom Brady. I think I like. What do you like, Just Bus? I mean, this is unbelievable. You're turning your back and you're throwing dots. How do you do? Like, how as a coach can you practice that? How do you rep that? Be like, hey, totally turn your back, understand exactly where the guy's going to be, and then put it on a rope. I don't think you can. Brady in the scenario, because he appears more human. The best thing about Peyton Manning that you see on there is when he takes that snap and he messes up, and then you hear him go, "God damn it, Donald," and he slides. I love that. But yeah, I just think Tom's won it more. So if you're just going based on Super Bowls alone, that is insane. Now, will he throw another pass? What do you think is going to happen here? Yep. There we go. Another one. Yeah, y'all may be a little behind than me, but good Lord, man. Good Lord. Another dot. Every throw Brady has had to Rob Gronkowski right now has been a contested, just thread the needle type throw. And the throw that he just threw, you know good and well as a coach, you're sitting on that sideline going, no. Good throw. Good throw. I like it. I mean, it's insane. I mean, you can't coach that. Those are the intangibles that people have, that he has. Who do we think is going to beat the Bucs? Imagine a dual threat Tom Brady. I don't want to, sir. I don't want to. Because that's a nightmare. No one would win. It'd just be Tom. Like, I don't think also, you brought up a good point, E-Man. I don't think you could have a dual threat Tom Brady. Because I think what makes Tom Brady so special is he knows he can't run. So he needs to know what every defense is, what the weakness of every defense is, where he has to go, like the intricate details of every play, because he knows he's slow as piss back there in the pocket. So he has to know where to go and has to be quick. He has to have that quick trigger. I think that if you did have a dual threat Tom Brady, he wouldn't do that much, because he knows that his legs can get him out of a play. Like, he doesn't just study that much, because if things break down, he can just skedaddle and find the open lane, get what he can, and fall down. Whereas this Tom Brady, I mean, you can see it if the play's not open, he takes a sack. And there's no one that takes sacks more like painfully and get really pissed off than Tom Brady. I haven't watched a ton of Trevor Lawrence, but from what I've seen, he has the potential to be that, right? I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I haven't seen enough either of him. And I know at Clemson, he kind of regressed a little bit. It's to me like he's a lights out world beater as a freshman, and he kind of got progressively worse and worse. And some people, you could make it a point that it was the play calling, because I know you can kind of tell when you watch Clemson, like against Georgia, their play calling was very uninspiring. It was almost like, hey, I think my guys are better than your guys, so we're just going to go mano y mano and just see who wins. There was a lack of motion that with Chad Morris's offense brought in when he first got there. You can watch a lot of Alabama now, and they're using a lot of motion. I know Sark brought a lot of motion in, set things up, made things look the same for everything. And that's what, it does help that you have a 5-star athlete from top to bottom on your roster. But also with that motion and everything, it does help because you're tricking the defense and making them undisciplined. Clemson's really not doing that. Now, will Trevor Lawrence be good with Urban Meyer's offense? I don't know. Like, I don't see it. It was very lackluster. Now, they could be hiding a lot of stuff, the Jags, in their playbook. Like, hey, we're just going to show them the basic stuff and then surprise them like, aha, I got you. But I don't know. We'll see. E-Man, you're right. Thank you, man. That's just my personal opinion. What makes Tom is he has to know everything because he knows he can't move anywhere. I mean, when you can't move anywhere, you got to do something. So that's me. I don't know. It says right now that I want to know, how do you figure out that win probability? 75%? Who comes up with that? What's the mathematical stuff? Okay. Join me in the watch party. That's the job I want as a math teacher, though. Come up with probability stuff. I think that would be fun. Now, here's the thing as well. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think Dak Prescott was that good in college. Watching him and stuff with Dan Mullen's offense, I didn't think he was that good. So was he always this good? And then when he went to the NFL, he got better? And is that indicative of Dan Mullen and building up quarterbacks? Or was it just that he was always there and Dan Mullen just would rather have ran him because, in college, having a running quarterback's a lot better and more of a threat than a pocket passer. Because you don't see that many pocket passers in the collegiate level. Usually the most dynamic guys are those guys that, like E-Man said, dual threat guys. They can throw a little bit and they can sit in there and run it. I mean, off the top of my head, Kyler, Baker, Trevor, he really wasn't a pocket guy. He still got in there and ran some. I guess you could say the last one is Joe Burrow, but Burrow still could throw the ball really well. And he kind of could sit in there and he had NFL quality wide receivers. I mean, that's me. Also, I'm really not a fan. This is me. And if my guests can come on, I got some guests lined up. They're eating dinner right now. I want to ask them, do they like rollouts and sprint outs and stuff like that? Because you take away half the field, especially at the NFL level. I mean, those guys should be able to read the whole field. So if you roll out like Prescott did just there on the boot, are you hindering his options? I was never good at that kind of stuff, calling the rollouts and everything like that. I was awful at it. And I know everyone's like, oh, it's good. You need to do that. You need to get your guy on the edge and things like that. But really, do you? I know you. We like it at the high school level, middle school level, and youth level because it's an easier throw. And usually we have our quarterbacks who are their best athletes at quarterback, so they can roll out, get out. If the pass is not there, they can run. But it's not. You're taking away stuff, and when you take away that, I mean, on the backside too. What about that wide receiver? You know, that knows he's not in the play, so he's just going to jog. I don't know. Never been a fan of it. It's gotten me in trouble too. I'm going to be honest with some coaches, some coaching staff and stuff. So, but coaches that are in here, first off, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being in here, watching the watch party. We're watching Tampa Bay versus the Cowboys. We have the game cast on. I just wanted to try this tonight. See it. We're all watching the game together. I mean, we're all watching the game. We're all tweeting the game. Let's watch it together. Let's discuss this. Let's see what we can pick up from these games. I got a gnat in here. Because it's very difficult for me as a coach to watch it as a fan. Like always got my coaching hat on. Oh, why did he call this play? What was he trying to do? Is that a good one or a bad one? What is he trying to set something up? When did he set that up? Top 5 middle linebackers of what? College or NFL? All time, there's only one, Mike Ditka. I freaking love Mike Ditka. Not Mike Ditka, Dick Butkus. I'm stupid. Dick Butkus. Like playing right now. Right now, I really like Levante David, if I said his name right. And then Bobby Wagner. Those are the two that I like. I like watching linebackers now that can actually, because the game is so stretched going from sideline to sideline. I really enjoy watching linebackers go sideline to sideline. I just think it's nasty. Unbelievable. The athleticism. Everybody in the NFL, pretty much everybody can go straight downhill and take on. Yeah. Because I'm a math major and I can't talk. Also, I like Darius Leonard. I can't wait to see what the Indianapolis Colts do. That defense. Look at that. That play right there was pin and pull or buck sweep to the right, throwing the RPO. I love seeing RPOs in the NFL. I like seeing the game trickle up from the high school to the college to the NFL. I just love that. Because that means that high school coaches know what they're talking about. And they're doing something. That's nasty. All right, my question to y'all is, will Dak Prescott actually run more like when he scrambles? Do you think he has that in the back of his head? I know that's the biggest thing when you come back from injury. Can I still do what I'm doing? Can I still move like that? Will my knee or my ankle or my arm, whatever I tore, will it hold up that second time? I mean, I tore up my arm in college and I'm still gimpy from it. Of course, I'm not signing like a $300 million contract where piss on my leg. You could take it. Do whatever you want. Also want to get one of those hats. A white NFL hat. Do they sell that? That's the question. Also, all right, Coach, love what you do, and I'm definitely learning a lot more about the spread offense. Thanks for thanks, man. Gifted B. I appreciate that. I enjoy just talking to coaches like yourself, man. That's what I love. And I love that you love the spread offense. Got a video coming out in a couple of weeks about The wing tee. Those guys hate me, by the way. They hate me. Nah, I feel we're going to see less running, but I still feel like he's going to be able to. Yeah, I agree too. Hey, this may also, if we tie it back into Brady, this may be also Dak's like awakening moment, I guess I should say, where he is going to dive all into like the play. No, I'm not saying he didn't know it, but maybe take it up a notch, like know the ins and outs and everything, and become a more of a student of a game, because he knows that he's not going to be able to scramble like he used to and get out of situations like that. I'm going to be honest. I want to see the Cowboys come back and actually be good again, because growing up in the 90s, unbelievable, man. I loved watching the Cowboys. I loved picking the Cowboys on Joe Montana football and then NFL football and then Madden and all that, and having Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders. It was a freaking blast. And now it's nothing. Like when I play Madden, I don't feel scared when someone picks the Cowboys. I'm just like, bum. He's a bum. When I used to play Madden back in the day, or NFL with my buddies and everything like that, and they're like, hey, I want to be the Cowboys. We made it a rule. You can't be the Cowboys. You can't be the Cowboys. You can't be the 49ers. Almost like when Techno Super Bowl, you cannot be the Oakland Raiders or the Los Angeles Raiders. No one can be Bo Jackson. If you are Bo Jackson, get out of here. But now it's like if you play Madden and someone picks Tampa Bay or someone picks the Chiefs, you're like, oh, man, this guy has no skill. He's garbage, trash. He's just relying on the best players. And I tell you what, man. People say quarterback's the toughest position. I am willing to go to bat for kickers. For kickers. That has to be the toughest position on the field. Because think about it. Your job is the only thing you have to do is kick the ball, right? Like that's it. We've all been there. We've all said it. Hey, all you got to do is kick the ball. Make sure it goes in through the uprights. And that's fine. But when you miss a kick, everyone's blaming you. Like as a quarterback, you can say, hey, that guy dropped the ball. Or hey, that defender made a great play. Stuff like that. But as a kicker, you have got to say, oh, hey, that was totally 137% my fault. I'm trash. I'm hot garbage. What is wrong with me? Have I lost it? You know, and you got to kind of pick yourself up from that. And I don't think that gets talked about enough. I know Pat McAfee talks about it a lot, how you have to have that mental aspect and things like that, but not here. I couldn't be a kicker. That goes back to punting, man. I couldn't be a kicker or a punter, and I couldn't be a long snapper at all. I don't have the cojones for that. So when I was in high school, we won the state championship. I'm going down the road, right? We had a guy, never played. His only position was long snapper, and he was legit. And we're in the state championship game. It goes into overtime. We stopped them. I played middle linebacker. I was the only white guy on on the defense. Played it. We stopped them, right? They went for a kick. They shanked it. Didn't get it. So now our offense comes out there. And we go straight special teams. We're like, you know what? F this. We're going to kick it. So we go out there. Now, the long snapper has been sitting on the bench the entire game. Okay? He runs out there, like does a 4.2 40 because he's 16 years old and we're about to win the state championship. He runs out there and he was a backup to the backup tight end. And we didn't even use tight ends that much. That's how bad it was. He sprinted out there 4.2. He gets set. He snaps that thing on a rope. Catches it, puts it, and our kicker kicks it for the game-winning touchdown. I mean, field goal. Won the state championship. I couldn't do that. My butthole would be like this. And I would be breathing so hard from running, like just sprinting. Couldn't do it. Man, That was a run, right? That was a run. You know how everybody and their brother says that when you throw the ball, 3 things can happen and 2 of them are bad? No one ever talks about, and I'm looking right at you. You can clip this and send it to someone that says this. No one ever talks about when the running backs fumble. They automatically assume every time you run the ball, you're either going to get yardage or you're going to get stopped. They never talk about they can also fumble and cause problems. Just like when you pass, you can throw an incompletion or you can throw a completion or you can throw an interception. Incompletion shouldn't matter, especially if you have a well-ran passing offense. So get them the next play. Okay. And that brings up an important question. Let's say your defense, sudden change. You bring your defense out there, gets a ball, interception, fumble, whatever. It's a sudden change. You feel the momentum swing. Is your play call, the very first one, a trick play? Are you taking a shot? Or are you just running a normal play? What are you doing? What's your mentality when you go out there? Let's see. We had a 10th grade kicker get beat 40-39 in the semis. He transferred. Good kid and kick. Yeah. Because, Nick, I guarantee you that kicker got reamed when he got there. Like, you only got one. Dude, I'm glad you brought that up, Nick. The kicker in our high school that kicked that field goal, he was my roommate in college. We were best friends. He told me as he was running out, our starting running back grabbed him, brought him in, and said, if you don't make this fucking kick, we are going to beat your ass on the bus. And then threw him out there. And I know our starting running back. I believe him. I believe he said that. So not only do you have the pressure, you have game-winning kick for the state championship that everyone believes in. You know, we were 14-0 at that time. So you have that riding on you. You haven't been kicking that much, so you're ice cold because you're sitting on the bench because you're 16 and you're not even worried about it. Then you have, arguably, for us at that time, one of the best running backs in the state and one of the most popular kids in our school threaten you with bodily harm if you miss it. And this dude ran out there with ice in his veins and just knocked it down. Now, what if he didn't? You would have a situation like yours, Nick. He probably would have just transferred. And again, you don't see people saying that to quarterbacks. It's always the kickers. And Nick, you take a shot. I don't know, man. Don't you think? And this is where, you get in your own head as a play caller. When you take a shot, do you think the other team is thinking you're going to take a shot? So they'll be ready for your shot. And that's what I mean when coaching ghost. Because in my head, I always psych myself out. Oh, I'm going to take a shot. Wait a minute. That other team knows I'm going to take a shot, so maybe I shouldn't take a shot. Maybe I'll wait 2 more plays and then take a shot. But then those 2 plays, I forget, and then I've never taken a shot. The momentum swings back again and doesn't do it. I've taken a shot one time, and on that shot, and the reason why is because my head coach was like, take a shot. And to me, the only shot play we have is 6, which is 4 verts. So I said, let's take a shot. 6. Quarterback should be there. Get out of bounds, Dak. There we go. So we drop back. Quarterback throws an interception. So we just got an interception. We take a shot, and then the other team gets an interception. How do you combat that? If you can figure that out, the mental game, write a book, sell it, you'll be a millionaire. Because no one can get it. No one understands that. So, again, Dak looked like he was like, oh crap, I got to run. Touchdown. That is nasty. I mean, how do you defend that? How do you defend Amari Cooper when he's come out and said, I'm the best wide receiver in the league and I'm going to prove it this year? You can't. How do you defend a quarterback that drops the ball, picks it up, and then throws it for a touchdown? A back shoulder. That is why back shoulder fades are so important. And before, June Jones actually talked about that, how he created the back shoulder fade. Now I'm going to bring it up because it's unbelievable. Here we go. This is what I do. All right, look. Want to give you some history to see everyone throwing back shoulder fades now. The origination of this place came in 1985 in the USFL with a quarterback named Bog. I'm not even going to try to say that name because I don't know it. And a receiver, Leonard Harris. The two of them came up and threw a touchdown on what became called a fade stop. After that throw, we took every hitch we had called and converted versus bump and run to a fade stop. Take and token release, run fade, and a quarterback throw the ball high and away at 17 to 19 yards became a play. Now you see everyone throwing what they call now a back shoulder fades. Bob and Leonard put all that together that we included as part of our base offense, changed football, where it all started. But you get it. True story first, and nobody ran them for many years until we are at the Oilers and Falcons and ran them for touchdowns and first downs. Everyone copies. Remember Bill Walsh asking in Hawaii. So cool. That is insane that the back shoulder fade was back there with the run and shoot. And that's what I love about Twitter, man. Twitter, you have legit freaking Hall of Fame coaches telling you the history and the origination of this. And I remember how Mummy, it was either at a clinic or in his book. And if you haven't read his books, oh my God, they're unbelievable. The best one, I'll pull it up right now real quick. You need to, if you like anything that has to deal with the air raid or throwing the ball, the perfect pass. The perfect pass is what you need. Because it is, when I tell you, this is, everyone has hype games, right? Like when you watch stuff or when you're going to a game, you have music that you want. This right here is what I listen to. Got to. The Perfect Pass. Unfreaking believable book. Talks about the history of how Mummy, what he does and all that. And it talks about how he got the back shoulder fade from June Jones when he went and visited him one time. Went, saw it, sat down. He's like, hey, what does that play? It looks like 4 verts, but you keep throwing it to the back shoulder. And June told him. And then he was like, okay, I'm installing that. And he did. And the rest is history. So that is unbelievable. You can't stop it. You saw Mississippi State do it last week. I mean, that wide receiver was totally blanketed, and it wasn't good. And that's the thing also, replaying the missed field goal or extra point. Do you think the NFL should go for 2 more often because it's closer? Like, has anyone done a stat where they showed that it's actually better or more beneficial to go for 2 on the 3-yard line than it is to go for 1 on the 15? Stat-wise. Oh, that's just a... Oh. Tom's not going to like that interception. Tom's not going to like that interception. See, right there. That's an example. That's not Tom's fault. The running back should have had that, right? So you could play that off like, hey, the running back should have had that ball. Went right off his hands. Kicker misses the extra point. That you can't blame anybody like that. I mean, it might have been the holder, but as a casual fan, we don't know that. We just say that's the freaking kicker. He should know what he's doing. But who knows? Who knows? Unbelievable. I mean, I love that. I love how you can just throw the ball out there, get a quick little pass. They're doing it in the NFL. Why can't we do it in the high school league? I wonder also Dan Quinn going from head coach to defensive coordinator. Like, what's that? No one ever talks about that. How coaches can go from the highest of the highs to the low, or a defensive coordinator is not a low, but one notch down. Because that takes some getting used to. I don't know. Because it's got to be difficult to be a coach, calling the shots, doing what you want to do, having it your way, and then going to work for somebody else. What do y'all go for? Like, do you have a set thing like, okay, if we get it here, we're going to kick a field goal, or is it always touchdown or bust? What about the former NFL head coach and then assistant at Alabama? Yeah. Well, you've got to think, Nick. That's got to be kind of nice, right? Like the guy, because talent-wise, it can't be that big of a drop-off. If you're going from the Texans, right? Bill O'Brien, Texans, to now, I would say it would be difficult when he dropped down and he was a quality control guy or whatever, like one of those coaches behind the scenes. And then all of a sudden being able to bump up as an OC, you're coaching NFL quality players now. And the beautiful thing about that is, see, at the Texans, everybody was an NFL player, like the best of the best, cream of the crop. Every team had them. There wasn't really a talent discrepancy because everybody that gets to the NFL is freaking amazing. But in college, what makes Alabama is their players. Like, they got guys. And that talent gap is so big. Like, what? You got Alabama, then maybe Clemson, then maybe Georgia, then Oklahoma, and then nobody else. So you really don't have to worry about talent until you get deeper in the SEC. I mean, you saw what they did to Miami. Miami was the thing. What? Miami was 7th? What was Miami ranked? 7th or 8th? But ego? Yeah, I don't. Okay, take the ego out of it. I was a former head coach, right, of an NFL team. I get fired. Although I'm going to say Bill O'Brien probably didn't get fired. Have you seen what's going on for the Texans? He's probably like, oh, thank Christ, I'm out of there. Those mother are weird. So then he goes down. He's like, you know what, Saban? He's essentially Belichick light. I worked with Belichick. I'm going to go and be there. I'm going to get paid and work with my buddy and see how they run the operation. Then, oh, hey, here's some NFL talent, like a roster of NFL. We have a triple A team, NFL team, playing against single A colleges. Would you like to call plays for that? Would you like to go nuts and call that? Yes, I would. So, Noah, what camera are you using, Coach? This is an A6100. A huge upgrade from my little dinky webcam. Thanks, Corona. I was like, you know what? I want everyone to see how ugly I am, how much of a schmuck I am. Let's do this. Question. Do you think Tom Brady's better now than he was in his prime? And did New England, I know they won a lot, but could they have won more if they were willing to spend just a little bit? Just a little bit more. Do you think they would have been better? I mean, I do. I do. And I'm going to tell you all this right now. I am loving high-scoring games. I love high-scoring games. I love games 33-30. Shoot. I would rather have games 45-44 instead of the Clemson, Georgia 10-3. That was boring. That was boring as piss. I don't care who you are, what you say, it was boring. If you like defense, fantastic. I would rather see good defense struggle against a good offense any day. Ryan Suckup, South Carolina boy. That's what I'm talking about, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Look how stoic Tom Brady is. My man, you can't. Brown versus Brown. Why press? I mean, you just got beat. You just got beat. Sometimes you have to wonder, like, what in the world is he doing? And I do like seeing professional athletes make mistakes. Not because I'm sadistic and I want to see him fail and everything like that. I like it because I know this guy is getting paid X amount of money, more than I will ever make in my coaching career. All right? He's still making mistakes. He's the best of the best. He's in the NFL. He's the 1%er. He's still making mistakes. So as a high school coach, why do I get mad at these kids all the time? They're going to make mistakes. NFL people make mistakes. High school kids make mistakes. College players make mistakes. We should be a little bit more forgiving and not flip out like crazy when it happens. You know? That's just me. That's what I try to tell myself. That's something I've figured out during Corona. Like, hey, don't yell that much. These kids, they're not messing up on purpose. You know? And would you have taken, look, this is also what I like about the whole Antonio Brown situation. And this is just life in general. If you can produce and you're good at your craft and you're so good they can't ignore you, they won't. They won't. That man is unbelievable. What, this has to be the most explosive wide receiver Tom Brady has had since Randy Moss? No wonder he stuck his neck out for him. I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The amount of explosiveness and the weapons Tom Brady has at 44. Isn't he 44, 42? I don't know. What the hell do I know? Let's see. How old is Tom Brady? He just had a birthday, didn't he? Yeah, 44. Look at that. Damn, I'm good. 44 years old, just throwing dots all over the field. Already, he is 13 for 18, 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That is insane. I would like to have our quarterbacks have a whole game of just that. I'm like, okay, that's successful. We can do that. But here's the thing. Okay, question. Who's a better quarterback actor? Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield. Who does better in commercials? I'm going to have, me personally, I think Baker. I think Baker is going to, if anyone was going to win an Oscar at quarterback acting, it would be Baker Mayfield. I think that's who would do it. I think he's unbelievable. I think he has a second career. Like when you do that as a quarterback, you go into those commercials like, okay, if this doesn't work out at the quarterback thing, maybe I can be an actor, an actor. Ryan Jensen is unbelievable, by the way. I love him as a center. If I had to pick anyone in the NFL to anchor my line, I would pick him because he's just so nasty. That's kind of what you want that's definitely what you want in a center. You want a guy that is disgusting. Is that going to do whatever it takes to get that dub, especially at center? All right. Question. Do you think Dallas Cowboys are going to score before the end of the half? Will they play it safe and try to get a field goal? They got three timeouts. They're fixing to get the ball kicked off to them. Will they try to go the entire distance and score? Or will they play just passively? Try to not have a turnover. Because who gets ball? Who got ball first? Let's see. Let's go full play-by-play. So Tampa Bay. So Dallas got the ball, is going to get the ball going in the half. Will they try to go for it? As a coach, would you? Or would you be like, you know what? Let's not make a mistake because we want the ball. We get the ball at half. Me, I'm like, hey, let's go score, get the ball back. I guess that's that Madden mentality. Hey, get the ball, score, get the ball back at half, score again, 14-point swing, bada bing, bada boom. We got the lead right there, and then we can protect it. But some coaches are different. Do you think Mike McCarthy is just like YOLO? I mean, how do you guard things like that? It's hard for me to watch this and be like, oh, because I love the NFL. I love football in general. I'm super stoked that we have the NFL and we have football back, but watching it and be like, oh, I'm gonna put that play in. Because there are coaches out there like, I'm gonna put that play in. I'm gonna put that play in. All of that. It's hard to do that when you can block for like 8 minutes. Who was that? Jerry Jeudy? I can't stand when I see wide receivers lined up with their hands crossed on their legs because that is what my kids do. My kids do the same thing. Oh, this superstar has his hands crossed as he lines up at wide receiver. I'm going to do the same thing. It's like, no, man, you got to get your hands up. You got to fight. You got to fight it. But they don't see that. They don't understand you're not a first-round draft pick in the NFL and can do whatever you want at the high school level. Like, you know, guys are going to do it. Like, I've coached one. He started at 9th grade and setting records. You can look at him and be like, hey, this guy's going to be in the NFL. 6'5", he's at Western Kentucky now. Josh Simon, he's a tight end. Unbelievable. Stud of an athlete. He will be in the NFL. But when you have 5'2" white guys that can barely get off the line of scrimmage, and you're like, that's not going to work, buddy. You got to get your hands up and fist fight. You got to let them know. Got to let them know what's up. Defensively, what are you doing? Are you bringing the funk? Are you playing prevent? Because to me, if you prevent, the only thing a prevent defense does is prevent a win. And you can't do that. 4 verts, get the ball off. They converted the 4 vert. I love that. If you can teach 4 verts and have your corners convert when that corner is deep, like, hey, you can't win deep, snap it off. I know Mike Leach teaches reading the hip angle. Mouse Davis and run and shoot. If he's dropping, I'm stopping. Dub Maddox does it with capped and uncapped, which I guess is the same thing as if we're even, or if he's dropping, I'm stopping. I don't know. How often do you throw it to the running back? How often should you throw it to the running back? Mississippi State that's all. I always think of Mississippi State and the running backs. Because they always give it to the running back. So let's see. Up, right there. Stats. So Mississippi State, their quarterback had 9 catches and then 12 runs. So that's unbelievable. That's probably their best athlete. So you should do the same thing in high school. Give it to your best athlete, your running back. A running back swing is just a toss to the outside. A lot of coaches don't get that mentality. Like, I got to run it. No, you can just throw it to them. Got three timeouts, and they haven't used one yet. Would you have used a timeout instead of hurry up? I mean, you got 3. I would use everything in my disposal to keep Tom Brady on that sideline. He is too good. Too good. Second and 10. I don't know. Y'all may be ahead of me in this. Yeah. Sacked. I love Barrett. I think he's really good, man. There is something to say about good defense. I like seeing good defensive plays in an offensive game, if that makes sense. I mean, I just like that. Couple plays on defense, everything else is offense, though. That's what I want. That's you don't want Prescott running, especially after you give him $40 million. What was Dak Prescott's freaking contract? Was it 4-year, $160 million? Man, stay in the pocket, son. I'm saying son, like that's what I say to my kids. Stay in the pocket, man. It's $160 freaking pair of legs. Hard Knocks was bad. I was so disappointed in it. It's a grown man right there. I would hold on for dear life too. Yeah. Yeah, JPP. With your mutilated hand. I would hold you too. The crazy thing to me is when I'm thinking about it, I'm sitting here, I'm 37. They're the same age or even older, and they're just specimens. Just genetic freaks. Everybody's going to be like, hey, Dak, you okay, buddy? Please don't be hurt. Barrett again. Off the edge. That's so difficult. What I've noticed too, though, and I know y'all probably know this, is the amount of hands, how they use hands. I love that. It's a combat sport. Over and over again. Get your hands off of them. Get your hands on them. Get them off. Swipe. All of that stuff. Will Tom Brady be able to do anything, or are they going to pull what they did in the playoffs against the Packers? That killed me, man. That deep ball pass. Oh, that killed me. As a fan and as a coach, it's like, why? There's only 10 seconds left. How are you getting beat deep? Why? Like, that's flashbacks right there. Also, as a coach, does it make you irrationally angry when someone is injured on the field and then all of a sudden they just pop off and run on? It's like, why? To me, I'm guessing back in the day, if you're hurt, you're hurt. Like, if you're sitting there holding up the game, you better be hurt. Your arm better be dangling, or your foot better be dangling. But now, like, we had a game where a kid literally in the course of the game got tired. I'm using that in quotes 6 times in a game. It was very frustrating. Like, we were trying to go fast a little bit, and it didn't work. Why would you go for it? 60 yard. You might as well just throw in a Hail Mary. You're giving Tom Brady 15 seconds. Can he do something with it? Incomplete pass. Do you YOLO ball it to the sideline? Hope you catch it and get out of bounds. Do you actually practice these? I know the NFL does, but I'm saying as a high school coach at a high school level, are you actually doing this? Because I don't think you are. I know I'm not. And if you say you are, I would like to see your practice schedule. I would like to see how you structure everything and do it. Because that would be fun for me to see. Because I sometimes forget those little nuanced situations. I work coming out, going in, middle of the field, third downs, left hash, right hash, all of that. But the nuances, I can't get. Hey, you're down 4 in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left and no timeouts. What do you do? Shoot, I don't know. I'm just gonna call my plays and hopefully they work. And I know that's bad, but 6 seconds left. Do you just take a knee and just say, "Hey, this is what we're doing," or do you try to get it to the 35 or the 40 and try to get out of bounds and see what happens? Who knows? I don't. What does Tom Brady do? I mean, what do you do? Do you put in a trick play right here? Hook and ladder? Take a shot, Hail Mary. Uh-oh. Yeah. You just ruin your stats as a quarterback. That has to be a little bit hateful. But guys, I appreciate this. I'm going to do more of these. Just wanted to test it out. The guests couldn't come through. It is high school, JV games, everything like that on Thursdays, but we will be back. I promise you. Thanks for hanging out. And until next time, I don't have anything. I'll see y'all later.